Yeah, yeah, for speed control, with stepper motor, because these stepper motors will go thousands of RPM. I mean, this little NEMA 17 I got, which cost about $8 or $10 on eBay, it goes to like 7,000 RPM. So it makes a big difference over a little DC motor that, and then runs on, I think let's see, I got it written on the back. Yeah, 2.8 volts and 1.68 amps. That's all it takes. And you can't hang on to the hub and stop it or hold it. It's strong.
Cool.
Yeah. They have super torque. But I guess that's because of all the magnets and stuff inside. Yeah, no,
That's interesting stuff.
Yeah, and like I say, serial control from the Altair, it works really well.
You also mentioned speech. What are you using for speech out of your?
Oh, that I use a SpeakJet chip. I made these. I made a couple of these things for my.
Hey, Terry.
Hello. Oh, Terry showed up. Yeah, I made a couple of these little boxes. See, it's got a serial input, then that's the audio out, and then it just takes a, 7 to 12 volt input to power it. But it's let's see if the lid's loose on this one. Yeah. So inside, I have boy, there we go. This top thing is a RS-232 to TTL converter, and then the circuit board I made is a little audio amplifier with a SpeakJet chip on it, and you can see the little jumper wires going from the TTL side to the SpeakJet input. It's just ground power and serial in. And so I got this,
go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's just again a 9600. I use 9600 baud for everything. Plenty fast for everything.
The SpeakJet? Oh, they are readily available. Okay, I was just wondering. It was because sometimes I remember somebody talking about one of the older chips, and they say, "Oh, you can't find those SP something or other."
Yeah. Well, I can sell you a SpeakJet chip for $20. Which is
that's I think there's 28 online or something if I decide to mess around.
They're usually like $29.95 plus shipping, but I can send you one for $20 because I got a whole bunch. I bought a big lot of them from the guy in Georgia who manufactures them. And
if I get ready to buy when it's just I like the idea of the speech stuff. When I started years ago, I played around with the TIs. That was one of the big things, little speech synthesizers and everything. My system could sing and everything. It was actually really kind of cool. Yeah. There's videos. Go look at YouTube. TI sings. There's some of my videos up there. Sweet Caroline, whole bunch of stuff it sings.
Yeah. I don't know the programming on the TI-99 for seed. I've been trying to get one of those speech boxes to play with, but you can never really find one.
They're expensive. They're expensive for what you get. I think
when they pop up, they sell right instantly. So,
I know there was a few recently I saw for like $30-$40, but I mean it depends on how much you want to spend.
Well, $30-$40 is a good price. Most of the time I see them they're like 100 or more.
I'm not sure how they interface or what they interface with those little there are modules for the side of the TI, so I'm not sure the interface, and I'm not sure if it's how well published it is.
There's online. I didn't download the instructions, but there was a guy that posted something one time online how to connect it up to your other computers besides a TI-99. And I think one of the things was he was just using a serial line into it for
Yeah.
his thing. So I just figured if
Ah,
I ever get one, then I'd hunt that thing down again.
yeah. No, I have them because again, you know, that was my first computer years ago, and that was one of the few things that I kept were the big old expansion box and all that other stuff. I have a few of those things, and a Tippy, which is a Raspberry Pi type interface that drops into that expansion box. All kind of cool stuff, but you know, and I wasn't going to sell. I was getting rid of my other stuff, the Ataris and Commodores and stuff, but that I want to keep. It was just too many old memories with it.
Yeah, but yeah, the SpeakJet. The nice thing about that is there's a program you run on your PC,
Yeah,
and it shows you all the phonemes, and it
yeah,
actually has other pre-figured out, noises for other sounds like frogs and, sort of a frog. It's not really a frog sound, but
yeah,
it's got a section for robot sounds, bio sounds, and then like DTMF sounds and stuff like that.
When you said the frog, I'm thinking of the Budweiser commercial. I don't know if you guys remember that one years ago, the three frogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's it. And you just double click on those,
Yeah,
the different phonemes, and it builds stuff up. But the nice thing is, once you figure out how to say a word with all the phonemes, then you can save it in the dictionary. So next time you just type the word out, and then it goes to the dictionary to get all the phonemes to say the word. So yeah, I've got a huge dictionary.
oh, that's cool.
I would bet I've at least doubled the size of the original dictionary.
I'm sorry. It's a dictionary stored on the.
It's a Word document.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just regular MS Word document.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's so you can go in there and hand type stuff in there.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, but it's easier to use it's called the PhraseALator program. And you just use that to build your words, and then you say save that as this word, and
PhraseALator.
PhraseALator, that's good. I love the naming.
yeah. There's a demo on the internet. I show how to use it. See if I can find the link to that.
Yeah.
I've got an episode of I've got a season of Futurama to watch, and the word PhraseALator just jumps out of me.
I think this.
Yeah, it sounds.
That's Bender.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like Bender saying that. I'm gonna get the PhraseALator out. Patrick, question to you. Is that a Pac-Man you've got in the background?
Yeah, Ms. Pac-Man.
Oh man, I thought that. That's amazing.
Pac-Man, and she's an original, and then Galaga, he's a newer one with those little 60-in-1 boards inside.
Yeah,
Ms. Pac-Man, she's real.
Oh,
cool.
Respect.
I put a link in the chat for the demo I put online for the PhraseALator, so you can see how easy it works. I mean, it's it takes a little bit of time, maybe 5 minutes to get used to using it, and then you're making sentences and if you look on the left side, that's where you change the pitch of things for making it sing.
Huh.
And it works really well. I've written probably 4 or 5 songs for my robots, and the Altair sings 2 or 3 of them. I ported
That's
over.
cool. So I don't have much time left. I just wanted to mention there was something I came across, and if you guys already know about it, we'll stop real quick. XYBASIC. Have you guys ever heard that? Essentially, a version of BASIC, I guess, is pretty popular. And what I found was unique about it is it's a hex file that you can literally just load into memory from Altmon or something and run it. You don't have to do you don't have to do load a loader and load it. where the loader loads it in and all that. It actually goes right to 0100, and you just essentially bring it in. And I thought it was kind of cool that you can get a monitor running and just bringing that in, load it in, and run it.
So that's for an 8080 or Z80?
Good question. What did I run on? I ran on a Z80. So I could be 8080 code, and the Z80 is just interpreting it. I don't remember. I didn't compile it. I do have the links and files. I had an email I was going to send out to. I think I was going to send out to Walt.
Put the link in the chat.
I don't think different system. I don't have it on this system. Where I'm watching the video, I don't have that there. I will send it out. I'll send it out to you, Walt, and you can maybe post it somewhere.
Well, I can add it to the chat maybe later.
Yeah, so that's something like that. So again, to me, I just thought it was useful as you get a system up, just Alt-Mon, and you want to do something. Sometimes you can't get other things going on it. You can you just bring that as a hex file, and it just ran. It was essentially load.
So yeah. Joe, is this something that you could just literally load without loading any Altair, any CPM? You could just load straight to.
Yeah, no CPM. I don't. It probably doesn't have I'm not sure about cassette access and stuff. There's a whole manual for it. But it's XYBASIC. I came across somebody who mentioned, hey, you just load that in. You don't have to worry about a loading program. Most of the time, if you want to load BASIC, you have to do. You have to load the loader. You have to load BASIC and then load the loader to load BASIC to actually get it to run, because it has to move it in memory to a proper spot to run. Is what I understand.
If you're connected to TerraTerm, you can just.
So would it fit on a ROM?
Copy and paste your program, save that way.
Yeah, actually, Minicom did exactly.
So it doesn't run on the Altair or.
Well, it must be written to run for a certain.
Yeah, it's Altair. It's an Altair base. I found
probably 2SIO or something.
I found this page which shows the history of XYBASIC, and it looks like it was somebody's computer science project.
Yeah.
At Stanford.
Not me.
Yeah.
What platform does it run on?
It was he developed it under CPM apparently originally.
No, I mean, does it run on an Altair or an IMSAI?
IMSAI Altair.
I think it'll run on anything with an 8080, but it's kind of fuzzy here.
Yeah,
it looks like
it runs under CPM, so it runs on any platform.
He said something about he was doing his computer science degree at Stanford. And he wrote this when he was at Stanford. The guy. I just sent the history page there.
Yeah, again, so you don't need CPM running. At least the thing. It's just a hex file. But yeah.
Right. Well, if you think about it, CPM. I'm a bit rusty here, but CPM, when it loads a program, loads it at 0100 hex anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you had it as a COM file under CPM, that would be loading it the same as you're doing manually, and then as long as it can find the console. And it worked fine with my the Patrick's card there, the 10 and 11, for the main serial port. So yeah, it was just kind of. I thought it was kind of cool to be able to bring up a BASIC and do something quick and dirty. He did the development on one of Gary Kildall's machines.
Oh,
because he was at Stanford, so he would go visit Kildall. You get to write his BASIC on there.
Okay, so that's really old.
Anyway, I put the link in. I put the link in for the history of XYBASIC.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah, I wish I was better prepared. I didn't really prep. It was just something I wanted to mention. Sounds like I thought maybe people heard about it. It's like, oh yeah, that's old news.
So I guess the next thing is, since Terry's on, is my computer still running over there?
Yes, no, yes. It ran.
Yeah. I heard that you sent your computer to Terry to fix. Yeah.
It ran for several days. I didn't reboot it, didn't power it down or anything. It ran for several days, and then I had to turn it off for a few minutes to do something else. When I turned it back on, it wouldn't boot. It wouldn't boot. So I turned it off, left it for 2 days, and then turned it back on day before yesterday, and it booted and ran fine for hours. And it's running right now, I think.
Everybody's favorite kind of problem.
Boy, it looks like it's running.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me double check. Yeah, just because the lights are lit doesn't mean there's
It's
anybody
glowing.
Haven't got one of Patrick's serial servers, have you?
Yeah. Lights are lit, but nobody's home. Well, let me see.
I
It
like
is
to
what
run,
it is, isn't it?
I like to run Galaxy because you can see the lights flicker and you can see the display on the screen too, terminal.
Okay, it's still booting, still running. It's running CPM fine right now.
Okay.
Now, let me do the big test.
Oh, yeah. Power it off and power back on again.
Oh, don't do that.
It booted. There's Altmon.
Gosh.
Okay.
Do you still have the 88 2SIO JP on there?
I got that one.
Oh, that's an R1 board.
All right, it's an R1 FTC plus. Yeah, okay.
I seem to be having problems with the other board, and I guess it's still not figuring out their jumpers properly.
The jumpers on that board take a while to figure out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yep.
Took me a few hours to get mine to work just the way I want.
I'm sure it'll work once if I spend enough time to mess with it.
I would love to make a web page where you put in your revision, the board, answer a bunch of questions, how you want it configured, click submit, say, make your jumpers like this.
Yeah.
Well, that would be good feedback for Martin. I mean, he's retired, so he might.
When I built mine, I literally sat down after I got it all built and everything. I was pretty sure everything was good. I read through the manual page by page and read every section and set that set of jumpers. And it took a while. You just have to spend the time. It took a couple hours to go all the way through it, read it, digest it, think, oh, that's what he means.
Yeah, it looked to me like some of the instructions. It looked to me like some of the instructions were contradictory with other instructions.
Yeah. Like I said, if you read it in sequence through the manual and you take your time, I found it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but it takes a while.
Well, I was trying to do that when I built my first Altair 8800, and I couldn't quite figure it out. So I asked Mike Douglas, since he recommended it, and he says, "Ask Martin." And so I emailed Martin, and he emailed me. I told him what boards I had. He emailed me all the switch and jumper settings I needed for the Altair 8800. And
that's nice.
And it went and worked right away. And I have that on my website. I have that set up on my website.
Right.
Anyway, the reason why I turned the power off and turned it back on is I wanted to try this out. And I don't know if I can get in tight enough. See
how much power it's drawing? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got one of these. It's not a USB. It's a 2.5 millimeter power, voltage and current tester, which I opened up and soldered the wires directly to the chassis. Directly to the circuit board. So you can see the voltage and the current.
Yep.
And
I like that.
So it's 2.3 amps and.
Yep. 8.3 volts. So the
8.3 volts. That's on the 5-volt bus. The 8 volt.
Yeah,
bus.
8.3 is a little high, but fine.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of LEDs lit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figure about 20 milliamps each. That's.
Well, the serial boards actually are some of the because of the extra rails. They're the ones that end up pulling real power on the 16 or the 15 volt rails. But yeah.
So anyway, that's where I am now. I'm just waiting for it to break again so I can go troubleshoot it.
Well, this is
But it seems to be working pretty reliably.
I just like that. I just like that little chip. That's really nice, that, mate. I think I'd like to. Can you post a link of where you got that? I think I'd like to incorporate that into my Franken build.
What's that? The
yeah, I really like that. It's really sexy, that.
Yeah, I got it off of Amazon.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so basically it's a little voltmeter and ammeter.
Yeah,
goes in the rails there. Okay.
It's really tiny. Yeah. It's really
quite.
You got the brand name on it?
Hold on, I'm looking.
China.
I've got two of that kind.
Would it cope with the minus 16 volt?
Sure, you just took it out the other way around.
Well,
I can't read that.
Well, no, you just
see. It's got the 2.5
right
plug and then socket.
Oh, so it's a barrel jack.
Stick it apart, pull it apart.
Yeah. The problem is all of the USB ones, including USB-C ones, don't handle enough current. They're limited to like 3 amps or 2 amps or 5 amps.
Yeah.
Otherwise, these have a bigger display and they're nicer to mess with.
Wouldn't some of the USB-C ones handle higher power?
Because the best I could find was I think USB-C I could find was like 5 amps.
Okay.
Which is fine for a modern S100, but for an older S100, you could easily beat that with a stick, or if you're using 8K RAM boards.
Yeah.
So see, here's a USB. Oops. Here's a USB-C one.
Okay.
There's nothing plugged into it, but the readout is a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Actually, quite a bit bigger. It's over twice as big. I'll see if I can find it on Amazon. The problem is I'm on my iPad, so I can't post a link.
What's the brand name? Brand name and model. That's all we need.
Multifunction tester. Multifunctional tester. Okay, there's a. Oh, wait a minute. I can't read. Need my glasses. Maker Hawk, MAKER-HAWK, DC tester, 2.5/2.1.
Wait. You said MACER?
No, Maker, MAKER. Standard spelling. Maker Hawk, all one word. MAKER-HAWK.
Wait. HAWAK?
No. Hawk, like a bird.
Okay, HAWK.
Right. DC tester, and it's on. I bought it off of Amazon.
Yeah, there it is.
You're all right.
$10.99.
Yeah, that's what you could build one.
Put the link in on
using a small Arduino and a display, but for whatever this was, $9 or whatever, it's hard to beat.
Yeah.
I like that. I look for one of them. I like that. I like the ability to display the ampage. Volts are easy, aren't they?
12 amps, it says.
Yeah.
Let's see. And actually, I can't find it at the moment.
I put a link up in the chat.
You did? Good.
Yeah, and this one, there's another one.
It's got the barrel connectors.
Yeah. Oh, this one says it does 0 to 200 amps.
Wow, that's a lot of amps.
Check and make check and make sure that's not an AC one.
Yeah.
The ones that do the heavier current are
DC 0
AC
to 100
voltage,
volts.
not DC.
Yeah, it says 0 to 100 volts DC.
Wow.
Oh, okay,
100
good.
volts DC at 200 amps. That's what's that? 20 kilowatts.
Yeah, if you're
Guys, I'm
says,
gonna have to drop
all
off
it
now.
says, all it says is
Um,
current input range 0 to 200 amps.
I
Wow.
think you would see the smoke before you read the meter.
Yeah, you push
Guys, I'm gonna
200
have to drop off
kilowatts.
now. I'll catch up with you later. All right,
I'll send that one to you too.
and I'll Patrick, I'll catch up with you later about.
Oh,
chatting
alrighty.
about the-
Okay.
yeah.
Bye.
Oh yeah.
See you later.
Yeah, I'll catch up with you later. A couple of weeks when I'm
All
back.
right.
And we'll
Okay,
chat
sounds
about
good.
things. All right, mate.
See you later, Paul.
Catch you guys later. Bye
Okay.
now.
Bye.
Guys, bye.
Oh, maybe that's just a voltmeter, not an amp meter. No, well, that wouldn't matter. Yeah, it shows amps.
I also got one of the USB ones that are shown. They're the DC-28,
200 amp
but
meter.
it's smaller, so it's kind of hard to. It'd be kind of hard to pull the USB-C connector and solder onto the board.
Yeah, the barrel connector one looks pretty neat.
Yeah.
That inline one looks pretty scary. I can't imagine putting 20 kilowatts through that thing.
Another one that says 10 amps.
Yeah, that sounds a bit more.
Yeah, the 100 amps is probably mistyping or something, typing error.
Yeah, it's probably supposed to be 10.
Oh,
Yeah, with 100 amp.
oh, okay. But the maximum power it can sense is 6.5 kilowatts.
The problem with that is typical modern S100 computer, it won't even register.
Yeah, and if you're, yeah, if your computer's pulling 6.5 kilowatts, you have other problems.
Yeah,
Jeez.
either that or you're doing an old mainframe.
Yeah.
Terry, I put a link in the chat, and if you scroll down, you can find the 882SIO-JP board, and it has, and underneath it, it shows all the jumpers and dip switch settings to work with a CPU board, FDC plus board, and the 882SIO-JP.
But is that for the proper rev?
Huh?
Is that
Which
for the
rev-
proper revision of the board?
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, that's for the board you have.
Okay, because the switches and everything change. I mean, the
Right, yeah, the newer boards are
change.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is on the board that you have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the newer one. I know, because.
Yeah, well, what I might do on your page here is put down what this configuration actually is.
Yeah.
Like, is a ROM enabled, disabled? Is it a 2K ROM, a 4K ROM?
Mhm.
What address is the ROM at? What, is the jump start enabled, disabled? Is the the sense switch stuff enabled, disabled? I mean, what actually is this configuration?
Martin didn't tell me all that.
Oh,
he just said, put the jumpers and dip switches this way and it'll work.
And it'll work.
The other thing is, I did happen to get the TDL ZPU board working for about 15 minutes, and then it stopped working. So, I didn't trace that any further. I went back to the Kromemco ZPU.
Mhm.
I figured I'm having enough intermittence. I don't need one more.
Yeah. I replaced the ZPU, the Z80 chip on that board, because when I first got the board, the guy said it didn't work. I tested the Z80 chip that came on it, and that failed right away. So I put another one in, but I don't know. That was when I had first gotten my Z80 tester. So I'm not sure I really tested that Z80 chip properly and fully.
You're talking about the TDL board?
Yeah, the Z80 on that board, yeah.
Well, it's probably partially due to the negative vibes I get when messing with TDL hardware.
Negative vibes. That's yeah.
I love the Krememco ZPU, and I love even more, as you know, Walt, the solid state music. I love those boards.
Yeah. Well,
I've yet to have one be a.
That's why when another guy popped up, I got the one from Joe, the first one from Joe, and then another guy popped up and said he could trade me a CB2 board also. So I got a second one now, but he didn't know if it worked or not. But I did the trade anyway, and
yeah, the only thing I need to do is on both of my boards, the switches are gone. One, the switch was the two paddles were broken, and the other one, the switches were never installed. So I've got to figure out what those two switches are. I think one's a momentary, and the other's a this way and that way.
On the CB2 board,
yeah,
I've been having good luck with this one. This is a California Computer Systems Z80. MBA-800C. It seems to work all right.
That should work good. Yeah, CCS is pretty good.
Yeah, it's I've noticed it's, even though I have the wait state jumper on off, I've noticed it's putting the CPU in a wait state somewhere somehow. So I do need to look at that because my wait light glows.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do that if I use any other board. It's like I'm not sure where that's coming from, but it seems to work pretty good.
That could be something that's just not matching, the with the front panel too.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering. I just noticed it today when Walt posted that question about CPU boards that work with the front panel.
Yep.
I just started running through all my boards, and it's like works, doesn't work, works, kind of works.
It also depends a lot on the front panel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 800C.
I was trying to remember. You were talking about those two red switches on the top of the board?
Right.
Okay.
The black switches with the red pieces, the red finger, whatever.
Yeah, I can, as soon as I figure out where I put my board, I can.
Well, I'm going to have to get going. It's about time for me I have to leave by 5, so.
Okay, hang on a second. I got the board here.
Okay. Yeah, this is the worst possible time of the day for me because I've got too many other things to do. That's why I was late.
Yeah, I was wondering, because this is actually a bad time for me too. I'm just wondering if earlier wouldn't be better or worse, or.
Yeah, those two switches. Yep.
So the stop run is a basically.
It's a toggle. Yeah.
Yeah. The other one is spring loaded. Yeah.
Is that like a reset switch?
Yeah.
No, that's a step switch.
Oh, okay.
So
I'd love to.
I'd
love to find replacements for those, but I haven't found them so far.
Robert Williford found a place that sells them. So email.
Oh, I'll have to.
I know they're being included with the Krememco ZPU kits, and they're able to. I think they're refurbishing them somehow.
Yeah. Where did you get that? Where did you get that kit from?
From Neil.
Neil Breeden.
Yeah, Breeden.
Yeah, he's the other guy behind that whole Parastream
MSI-JAIR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he posted on Facebook he had a kit left, and I was like, yeah, I really want to see if one runs in the 8800C. So
wants too much money for a kit, though.
Oh, it's a beautiful kit.
Yeah, but if you can buy a ready-made board for $150 or so.
Yeah, I haven't seen one, and a lot of boards I look at on like eBay, they've been butchered and traces cut and modified. I just wanted a stock board that hadn't been touched.
His is a IMSAI legacy board, though, or his system. Since he used to work there and he designed, he redesigned it.
Well, it's Robert.
Yeah, Robert Weatherford.
Yeah. But see, Neil Breeden, a few years ago, Neil Breeden paid 12 grand on eBay for an MSI kit that was
wow.
never opened. The box was never opened.
Wow.
12 grand. And so that's what started that whole Pairstream project, was that kit. And they reversed engineered the whole thing to build a Pairstream MSI 88 or 80.
Yeah, he had the heat sink custom made and all that stuff.
It's pretty. It's a cool looking kit, but it's around $2,500.
Oh no, it's the one I bought was like 300 and something, including shipping.
Yeah, no, the Pairstream IMSAI kit's about. I looked at it the other day. I was thinking, how much would one of those be? Oh, that much.
Yeah,
I could get away with a couple $100 here and a couple $100 there, but if I drop $2,500 all at once, that might be noticed.
Yeah.
But if I had $25 to drop, I'd put it into my car.
Well, I gotta go. I'll see y'all later.
All right.
Bye, Terry.
So Terry,
Then this is the board I sent Paul. This is a SSM CB1A Repro. And I'm kind of starting to like this board too. And it works awesome in the front with the Altair anyways. So it has ROM on it, RAM on it. I have it all disabled. Parallel port, I have it all disabled. So this is basically just an 8080 CPU.
And that's a replica. Okay.
Yeah, it's a replica board.
Well, I might have to find one of those. That would be nice to have.
But that's an 8080 board.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an 8080. Gosh, I could have sent you a motherboard with your 2SIO. I bought like 5 of these boards.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to order more, another 5. Actually, I'm thinking of using this as the template to make the Altair SBC. Just replacing the RAM, ROM, IO, and all that stuff with mid stuff.
I haven't tried designing an S100 board yet. That looks like a rather large endeavor. But I still want my SIO. SIO.
Oh yeah, I have that on the list.
I was thinking here. Let me throw something by you because I was thinking about this because I want the perfect board. But, no, if you
then have Mike Douglas do it.
Yeah, there you go. If you had 2 8-bit line drivers, right? One inverting and one non-inverting. Then you could select one of those through the chip select circuitry if they were like tri-state. So that you could so you could have normal status port and an inverted status port, and then behind that, from whatever UART you're using, you just match the bits to emulate the SIO or the 2SIO.
Yeah. Now I'm kind of wondering. See, if you use like I don't, the only way I know how to do is use like a GAL or something. You could probably even change what bit the status goes on.
Right, but it seems to me that if you had the 2 line drivers, which you could select independently, so you could do positive or negative, right? And then on the input side of the line drivers, you don't have to go 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3 when you connect them to the data port coming out of the UART for the status. You can just map them to what you want it to emulate.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, like, see, I want to be able to do it with jumpers, so you can say, well, now I want transmit radio on bit 1. Now I want transmit radio on bit 7. Now I want.
So the way the solid
how to do that.
The way that IO4 does that is with an 8-pin header chip that you just put wires on.
Yes, I'm trying to eliminate wires.
Right, and that's how they do it, because why that board's so powerful is because you've got these 2 sockets, which are basically your status, and then what they did for normal and inverted is they use the normal and inverted line drivers in the same socket, and you just switch the chip to get normal or inverted.
Okay.
And it actually says to do that in the manual. It's because I just bought the inverted ones to turn my IO4 into SIO.
Right.
So you just pop 2 chips out, and then you reconfigure the little header, and you can basically do that. But doing that with switches instead of switching chips and a header would be nice. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking if you put the two chips in parallel, the inverting and non-inverting line drivers for the status port output, then you could just use your switch that said SIO to SIO, for example, to say how which line driver got selected. And if they're tri-state, they won't interfere with each other, right?
Yeah, I know how to do this because we really only need 2 bits.
Yeah, that's the other thing is we only need 2 bits.
Yeah, no, I know how to I know how I'll do it.
Yeah.
I like your idea for the inverting, and I know how I'll do where the status bits go.
And then and that way, though, in theory, you should be able to use any UART and have it pretend to be the vintage UARTs.
Yep.
Because the data lines coming out of the UART for status, you just map those to whatever bits you want for the chips you're trying to emulate, rather than trying to use the original chips. Then you can also use modern baud rate selection and all that good stuff. So
this will be fun. I think I'll make this the next board.
That's yeah. I think I'm going to start with a simpler project.
Then I'll send you a prototype.
Oh, awesome. The simpler project is one of the things I'm obviously trying to drive is Mike's cassette interface, which has a 14-pin header on it that's actually wired for a DB25 for because it only uses 4 pins.
Right.
It uses 5 volts to power the board, send and receive, and ground. So taking the standard, the problem is there's no 5-volt signal on the standard 9-pin serial port.
There isn't.
And there isn't a pin for it. So I hate to throw another little thing on the wish list, but an extra jack on one of the ports that would work with Mike's board would make it super simple to bring that board up. Because then you just have a 14-pin plug-to-plug cable.
Yeah, no, I think I was either going to do 14-pin and 10-pin, or so you can just use a ribbon cable and do a 25-pin header or cable.
Oh, that's right. You use 10-pin right now, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I did that, they seem more readily available, and just I knew people would be putting it because I figured people are going to want a 9-pin female or something at the end. They can just plug it right in their PCs. Right. I really tried to make the R1 kind of plug-in.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's why I said. But here on the cassette board, he has like a 14-pin. But that's actually just the first 14 pins off the 26 you normally see for a DB25.
Yeah, because that gets you the DTR.
What it has 2, 3, and 7, which is your standard.
Mm-hmm.
And then it puts 5 volts on 18.
Okay.
And then the 5 volts coming in on 18 power this board.
Yeah. So I think what I was going to do is put a 10-pin and a 14-pin. So you can either use make it use the same cable that the 2SIO R1 uses, or you can use like an FDC Plus cable or any 25-pin.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking, maybe I just design a board with that port on it.
Yeah. Can you do that closer? I'm sorry. That's okay.
Those things.
Yeah. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
How much was that
the manual for this with the schematic is on Mike's site.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the manual's got the schematics and it's quite an interesting little. It's also got a little 6-pin header there, which it won't focus on for some reason. But anyway, it's a 6-pin header with its TTL level.
And now, what baud rate do you run?
300.
See, there's a little extra work you got to do to get 110.
Yeah, this runs at 300.
Okay, and I'm not sure if we want to. Did the SIO board do 110?
I can't remember, but anyway, that's as far as this one goes down. Which I'd have to go.
Okay, it goes down to 300.
This runs at 300. You can because it's all done in, an FPGA or whatever his little emulator chip is.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, he's modified code and had this running as fast as 1200, but beyond 1200 and your Altair can't cope with it because the data's coming in too fast.
Gotcha.
It's just like
I might make this board go up to 9600 only because I think I can eliminate the chip.
I mean, how in a traditional vintage world, you're not going above 9600 anyway.
Well, like the serial CPM,
right?
I know it runs at 38.4. I think it might run at 768.
It runs way up there. The serial CPM of the FDC Plus runs at 115, I think.
No, I mean the the serial CPM that just works off a 2SIO port.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the FDC Plus runs up at 460.8.
Is it 460? I thought it was like 115. 460.
Yeah, 460.8. I had to find a DIP line driver that would run that fast. So it runs at 460K.
Yeah, because it feels like floppy disks. It feels about right. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's good.
I haven't plugged in my 8-inch drives in a while. I really should some one of these days because I can use soft sectored drives through the FDC Plus and pretend to be hard sectored.
Yes, if they're direct drive, belt driven, I guess doesn't.
They're belt driven, yeah.
Yeah,
they're 801.
I can't get my 800s to work because the speed isn't consistent.
Yeah, well, I've got a pair of 801s.
Uh-huh.
801s, which is slightly, I can remember there was a minor difference between the 800 and the 801. I can't remember what it is right now.
Yeah,
but anyway,
right. These are 801s. Sorry.
Yeah, so I got a pair of 801s that I bought back in the early 80s, and I was having some weird problems. And I think one of the drives is getting sketchy.
Okay.
Because I went in and I basically opened the cabinet up and switched the drive selects so the other drive became A, and now it works fine.
Oh, yeah. Mike has in the FDC Plus manual that those won't work very well with soft sector media.
Yeah,
they're just too.
The biggest thing I still need to do, and I keep putting it off because it's going to be painful, is I have probably 108-inch floppies from back in the day, and a grease weasel, and I need to just start scanning them all. I've done about a dozen so far just to get my micro engine working, and that worked fine because my micro engine runs off emulated floppies. But it is the thing works amazingly well. The grease weasel, it's quite an amazing piece of hardware, but getting it tuned because there's no profiles for 8-inch floppies. Everybody that uses those things does none of the. Every 5 1/4 you can think of, every 5 1/4 base system you can think of is in there. 8-inch, yeah.
What's that?
What's that? But
so I think what I'll do is I'll start working on a schematic for the SIO board, and then I'll send you the schematic. So you can kind of see how I'm thinking the jumpers might work and the inverters and all that stuff.
Cool.
Hey Patrick, the original MITS 88 SIO board went down to 110 baud.
Okay, yeah, I'll probably keep that. I'll keep the 110 in there. I just don't know if I need to run past like 96. I don't know if we need to do.
Didn't it say something about a mod required for 110 though in the manual?
No, the mod is for 75 baud.
Oh.
Cut it in half.
See, 75 baud was the older teletypes.
Right, the old teletypes worked at 75.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when the ASR 33 came out, that was at 110 to 300 baud, I think. But the older ones, say like the one my dad had was a Model 17. That was actually 60 baud.
Oh.
Yeah, that'll be a fun board.
Yeah.
And we just want one port?
I was thinking, just because the cool name came to mind, putting 2 separately addressable ports. Because that way you can remember it. And then you could call it the dual SIO.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot, you're doing one, might as well do 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of room on the board. You might as well do 2. There's people who are interested in old S100 systems. You cannot find an SIO board anywhere.
Right.
Well, I think I actually may have seen one.
That guy in Bulgaria, I think, has one, but he wants about $800 for
right.
it.
Yeah. Well, has one for ridiculous. But so I think just like your your current board is massively simpler and easier to work with than a real 2SIO, and easier to build for anybody, even if you buy the bare board, than the JP, which is just, it's a wonderful thing, but it's just a little too much on there. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not as interested in making this like an SIO,
No.
like 100% everything.
No.
So we just need to make it. So we can even make it simpler, I think, than
Right.
the R1 board.
Yeah, I think a functional, and I think two that are individually addressable gives you so much flexibility. I think quite a lot of people will be interested.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. And like I said, especially since you cannot find them anywhere for, that if you want to try and, yeah.
And yeah.
And if you want to do the IO4, make it look like one. I mean, luckily I have an IO4 because I bought a kit back in 83 or whatever, and built it. I think that was the first kit I ever built, actually, was my IO4.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll put a star by this one.
But
that'll be the next one.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get, I have other people's boards here and stuff. I'm just
I'm
trying to get my desk cleared and start working on that.
Yeah. Yeah, the other board I thought about having a go at because I want something simple was a DB25 back panel connector with a 10-pin connector on the back, so it would work with your Rev 1 board. So you could just put a 10-pin cable, plug it into that, and then bolt that up to the back of the chassis. DB25.
Right. Oh, that's an idea.
Yeah, that seemed like about the level at which I could probably manage KiCad. Yeah. I mean, I literally have designed one board in KiCad, and it has 2 switches and 2 plugs on it. And that was for the 2 switches on the front of my micro engine, so that I could just have plugs on the back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like I said, I'm sure I'm still borderline beginner to intermediate KiCad, because I'm sure there's a lot of stuff you can do with it that makes things easier that I don't.
Yeah.
But the boards work, so. Yeah.
What I did on that board was, because I wanted to put the reset switch on the front. And this reset switch is a standard spring-loaded, bidirectional. It actually does reset and slave clear. Because if you take a 3-pin cable and you plug it into the 3-pin header on the 9-slot motherboard, that you normally select reset or slave clear. So if you put a center off, right, and then you put a jumper over the remote of the connector for the remote switch.
Right.
It's just a reset and a slave clear all in one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But that's the limit of my car. But maybe I'll start having a look at doing, like I say, a female DB25, like you put on the back of your chassis.
Yes.
But with a 10-pin connector that goes to the J1 board.
Yes.
One board, because that would be useful.
That would be useful. In fact, I would probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I have, I go through all these adapters and things. It's like, well, shoot. If I just have the 10 pins sticking out of the back,
right,
plug in whatever I want.
Right. So I'll play with that a little bit and see if I can figure that one out, because I think that's within my capabilities.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
The circuit design stuff, I start going, and then some of KiCad's, how can I put this? Interesting features. Like I've noticed sometimes if you move a part just wrong on the schematic and 2 lines suddenly cross, it joins them.
Yeah, I've had that too.
Drives me nuts. I was moving some stuff around, playing with something, just trying to learn it, and I went, why does it keep doing that?
Yeah. Yeah, you run like the whatever they call the error checker or something, and it's like, well, this is going, whatever. It's like, why? Yeah. I look at it. Oh wait, why do those get connected?
And I found when it happens is when you move one of the symbols.
Yeah.
And if you line them up in a certain way, then they just say, "Oh, you wanted those connected."
Oh. Yeah.
Let me help you here.
You can find that feature. Turn the auto connect off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I
do have another question for you guys.
Yeah.
On the
front panel.
MSI mini front panel,
Mm-hmm.
the switches that you put in here. When I was working today on the SBC 100, the power switch on my 8800C was broke. It just wouldn't turn off anymore.
You know, I got that same problem. Mine quit working, and it's the exact number that Mike had in his bomb.
Right, because it tells you have to use a different switch for that with different contacts.
Well, they just well, they just don't make them like they used to, I guess.
That's what it is.
Or it's the 120 volts going through it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But I noticed that, like, there's these switches that have, like, you can...
Yeah, that's the solder lug type.
The solder lug. These don't fit in the front panel board.
No, oh, wow, those have got some pretty big lugs on them, yeah.
Yeah, those don't fit. So, like, these ones do for the...
Right, because that's
that's the panel mount.
Yeah, but then these have these weird, they put like this epoxy on the bottom. So like the switch doesn't actually fit all the way on the board. I'm just wondering if we were to do an Altair front panel board.
Right.
You know,
Which switches to use?
What switches do you know? What type of footprint do you want?
Use the 3.5 millimeter diameter holes, and then people can use whatever switch they want.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, all you have to do is make the holes 3.5 millimeters.
Right.
Okay.
Something I was reading up the John's page on his new front panel. And he had an interesting idea on there that might solve the power switch, which he was setting it up so that the switch was just operating at 5 volts and driving a relay to switch the power.
Yeah.
And so that way, yeah, you can have a properly spec'd relay for the AC, but that's just driven by maybe a little driver and 5 volts, just like everything else.
Right.
And I thought
that's where a new 9-slot motherboard should be designed so that you can plug in a relay on it.
Well, no, because the power goes to the AC doesn't go to the motherboard. The AC just goes to the power supplies.
Right, but
yeah.
But where are you going to mount that relay?
On the front panel. You'd put it on the front panel so that the switch, instead of operating the AC directly.
Well, I understand that, but
wait a minute. But then you wouldn't have 5 volts. Hang on a sec. That wouldn't work because you wouldn't have 5 volts.
You need 5 volts on the front panel to go to the relay to toggle the relay, and the relay's got to toggle AC.
Oh.
So if they have
I'm going to do on my floppy drives, I just have one of those switches that plugs into an outlet, you know. Then you plug something into that, you just flip. That's why I turn my floppy drives off and on because I don't have a cabinet. I'm thinking of just doing the same thing for my Altair. Just either jumpering the switch or just leaving it. I mean, I replace the switch, it works again. Yeah. But instead of like toggling the switch on and off 100,000 times, just flame it off. Or put a switch in the back.
I just use an external. I think I told you about that, Patrick. It's about a foot long and it's got a AC plug and an AC jack on each end with a big switch, you know, with a that's what I use for turning my computer on and off. So it's in line with the AC power cord instead of, because my little switches failed on my Altair 8800C.
See how mine do.
Yeah, so I just use that inline AC switch.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing before I lose another switch.
Yeah. The other thing I did to my Altair case, which was I cut out a larger hole for the power entry and put a C14.
I wish I guess if I had one complaint about this case is I wish Mike had made us you can do that.
So
that's what I would have done too.
A Dremel. And 10 minutes in the garage, and I had both of mine have that on them now. On it now.
These don't work well with tools.
Oh, 20 plus years as a mechanical engineer, and I'm not allowed to say that.
Yeah, I try to stick.
Mine work okay, but it definitely doesn't look professional.
Oh, no. Mine doesn't look professional, and it's not dead square. It's almost exactly square.
Yeah.
But it's not nicer being able to just unplug the power from the back of the unit.
Yeah.
It's not going through a grommet. It's with the power cable, it's always in the way when you want to move it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I cut mine out. I actually, because we're all nerds. I 3D printed some guides to help me cut it out.
Yeah. Well, that's why my computers are way up high on a shelf. They don't get moved anymore.
Yeah.
Once it's up and running, it goes up high out of the way. I can just reach up to the front panel switches, and
Yeah.
that's the end of it.
Yeah, I don't have that luxury.
No, I just got the one here, and the one in the back never does anything because it's real. So
Oh, it's a real one. Okay.
yeah, that's a real one. It works. So, I mean, I probably turned it on a year ago. I should fire it up every now and then.
Yeah, I do that with my micro engine. I don't spend as much time with it as I probably should after I went to the trouble of rehoming it.
Because I really don't like fixing hardware problems.
Yeah.
So, and this was on and off, so much boards in and out. I'm afraid I would destroy it.
Yeah, well, that's why I keep a little test bench version beside me with another 9-panel and external power, and it's just bolted to a piece of plywood. All the stuff.
I need to build one, and that's really my driving force to make an Altair mini front panel.
That's what I would like. I would love one of those for it, obviously.
Yeah.
Right now, I put my bus probe in there occasionally. Which was what I used because I didn't have a front panel back figuring out my dual engine stuff in the early days. Yeah, I have to. Oh, that's another job I've been putting off is digitizing the manual. Micro engine came with a manual about that thick.
Oh wow!
That goes way down into the details of how it works at the chip level and all of the signaling and the state engines and everything. It's quite interesting. They even included data sheets for all the chips of any significance in the manual.
Nice.
So scan it all in, make it a PDF, and put it on archive.
It's about 400 or 500 freaking pages, which is why
I've done over 1,000 pages.
And it's double. It's about probably about 400 to 500 pages. It's double-sided printing. It's all punched for ring bound, and it's been used a lot. So the pages are not necessarily going to work in an auto feeder.
But you can get one of those scanners that overlooks it, and it flattens the pages. And
I've thought about it.
Yeah, you just flipping the pages.
Yeah, I really need to do that because I've never found a copy of it online.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And it is quite interesting reading, even if you're never going to be able to find one of those boards.
I
mean, if you look it up in Wikipedia, the board set is actually mentioned in Wikipedia. And it says there is one known running version in existence.
Is that yours?
Mine. And that's not. So I know there's two.
You need to edit it. Oh, there might be two.
There might be two. Here's
a picture go on Wikipedia and tell them yours is working too.
Yeah. But it's I really should sit down, or maybe I don't know if I trust giving the manual to the guy at FedEx and saying, "Can you run through the scanner?"
That would be one of my thoughts, but it's like, what if something were to happen to it?
Yeah. All it takes is a paper jam and some shredding, and it's all done. So
yeah, that's a tough.
I will go down there if I do this. I will go down there because the schematics are all 11 by 17. So I need to scan them, and they're not the best prints. So I need to scan those full size. I don't want to shrink those down or split them.
Yeah, awesome.
But
I think that's part of the fun of this hobby is archiving this stuff for other people down the road.
Yeah. That
reminds me, that was something I did last couple of days on my website. I added an MBASIC cheat sheet. And so you get 2 pages of if you go to brainus.org and click on the Lost Altair thing, it's like right under the for sale and trade link is the link for the vintage 76 MBASIC cheat sheet, and it's a PDF, and it explains. It shows you how to do each of the MBASIC commands real simply, and then it has another breakdown of them on the second page. So it makes it, you know, it's those manuals and stuff, you know, like, and I did it because I was trying to figure out how to use the dimension function to manipulate all the numbers in that for the Pololu things. And that, and the manual is, I mean, it gives you an idea, but it really doesn't tell you how to work it. I mean, it really doesn't.
That's cool.
So this is a little bit more straightforward for beginners and stuff like that. I would like to actually extend the page even more and have program examples, you know, just like little subroutines to show, okay, here's a DIM, you know, reading like a 32-bit number and hacking it up and moving things around, stuff like that. You know, show how each command really works in a little program so that people can just go in there, find what they need to do, grab it. You know, it's the same thing as what they do with Arduino, except do it for MBASIC. And that way people can grab a routine, modify it to the way they need. And, you know, as you modify programs, you start to learn the language. And that's why I put that one thing up on the forum about it would be nice to have a nice, neat assembly language program that just prints stuff to the console. And you have to type in your console control port and data port to the program, you know, answer a couple questions, and then feed it data, and it prints on the console screen. And then have it, you know, have it, you know, each step builds a little bit more on that program, and then have other little assembly language programs that do other jobs, you know, because then people can take a couple of assembly language programs, put them together, figure out how that all works, and start building bigger programs.
Yeah, I mean, when I started writing my system monitor, my version of John's monitor, literally the first thing I did was write the two little routines for console in and out, and then wrote a little loop that just runs console in and passes it to console out.
Yeah.
Because between all of that is maybe 25 lines of code. But you get that working first, and then you just start building pieces on top of it.
Right.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, if it's on the web page, those routines, then the beginner like me can go in there and then use it to do something else.
The probably the thing to do with the console I/O is have separate assembly language programs for, you know, for 2SI or 6850, 8251, 8250.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying is you know, like since the Altair is designed around the 88 SIO and 2SIO, you know, your 88 2SIO R1 board is a great starter board for a beginner building a computer. So have computer programs on there that, you know, use the simpler, newer hardware so new people can build, you know, because, you know, if they want to go build up an old antique computer, you know, they got to get started somewhere. So start with the easy stuff, just like Mike Douglas's FDC Plus with a CPU board and a IO board.
Yeah, I still think the best starter kit is a MITS 8080 or an 8080 type replica that works with the front panel, the FDC Plus, and a 2SIO of some sort.
Yeah, well, that's
you can do so much with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. That's what Mike Douglas says. His Altair 8800C is a CPU and FDC Plus, and he has the 88 SIO JP, but instead use your 88 2SIO, which is even easier to use.
Yeah, which is really oh, sorry.
I'll say that's really basically what mine is. My 8800C is those four boards. I just took his design, and your board wasn't out yet when I built mine, so I built the JP, which is a monumental task.
I have a JP too. I'm a JP also.
But did you buy yours as a board or ready made?
I bought it made.
Yeah, I bought mine as a board because he wasn't selling them ready made anymore.
And it was really that board that made me want to make the other one. Because I just want serial ports.
Yeah. It was, it was a recommended board, and I thought, okay, and I reached out, and it was like, well, I just sell the boards now. I don't sell them ready-made anymore. Yeah. And he doesn't even sell kits. It's just, here's the board.
Here you go.
And it's
I wonder why.
Actually, no, he sells the board with the UART.
Yeah, I think it comes with the UART or something.
And the ROM, the pre-programmed ROM.
Yeah.
Right. And then I discovered the hard way. Had to go buy one new UART. I discovered the hard way. If you use the where is it? That extractor tool. That's pretty cool. It's for the wide chips, and it grips and then pulls it out. Anyway, great tool, except under one condition. If one of the pins you didn't bend in enough and it's outside the socket, right, and you use this tool to remove it, it rolls up the pin.
Oh no!
In a little tight curl.
Oh no!
Oh, so I had to go buy new chips. But yeah, this thing is great for getting EPROMs out. This thing is great because it fits over the EPROM, pops it right out. It's from Jonard Tools EX-2.
Now there's my chip puller.
Yeah, I have one of those as well, but for the big chips like EPROMs, this thing is wonderful because it pulls it dead straight.
I was struggling with getting the EPROMs out of Joe's boards from the SBC 100s that have been in there and probably haven't been removed for 40 years or whatever. So yeah, that would be.
Yeah, I wish they made a 0.3 version for regular TTL chips, but they don't. They just make this 0.6.
This is my chip puller for the big chips.
Where'd you get that?
I bought that from.
They sell them everywhere.
Jamico, I think it was Jamico because I buy a lot of stuff from them. I just added.
I've never seen that.
Order. But it's a. Oh no, I bought it on Amazon. It's a Jonard Tools EX-2.
Type that in the chat.
Give me a second here, and I will find it.
It's right here. A Jonard Tools, $28, $29.
Yeah, put something in the chat. So
yeah, I'll put a link to it right now.
I'm about to do the same thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that in the I want to get it later list.
Yeah. It's great. It's a great little tool. And they're the same people that make the little 2-hook tool for the small chips. Why they don't make a small version of this? I've been on their site. They don't make a small version of this. But this thing, EPROMs especially, because it's dead straight. The two pieces here sit on either side of the chip, so it lines it up perfectly. And then these hooks come in and then pull up. So they work with just like chips. It's great. It won't work with a 40-pin chip like the 8080.
Right.
It's not quite wide enough for that. But for all of your EPROMs especially, it's great because it pulls it up dead straight.
Oh, they have some for even bigger chips.
Yeah.
I think
this will do a 40. It says this will do a 40. Maybe when I'm feeling real brave one day, I'll try it on my 8080.
Wonder if this thing works. Have you ever seen this chip straightener?
You mean this one?
Oh, let me see. I'm sorry. I only have one monitor here.
That
one? You guys have one?
I love that thing.
Oh my gosh, I just put a link to it.
I love that thing.
Skinny chips on one side, fat chips on the other side.
Right. Oh my god.
I use this every time on every chip before I put it in. It gets them perfectly straight and parallel and the right distance apart. And you put it on top of the socket and you go, doop, and it just goes right in.
Oh, I've bent them on the table.
I've been doing that forever until I found this thing.
Getting you one of those. Well,
I got turned on to mine back in the 1970s when I was building my Altair 8800, and a friend of mine came over, and he was watching me bend them. He was an electrical engineering student at the university, and he was watching me bending the pins on a table, and he says, "Get one of these things," and it was just a couple bucks at the local surplus store, hardware store.
This thing is great. I saw it on a YouTube video, somebody doing a build of something, and he got this out and did this, and I went, I have to find that.
Oh my gosh, where have you been my whole life?
Yeah,
Mine,
well, that's kind of how I felt a year ago when I got mine.
yeah, the original one I had was it was all metal.
Oh, wow.
You know, like not aluminum. I think it was stainless steel.
Yeah.
But it disappeared when I moved from California to from Minnesota to California. That was one of the things that disappeared. But it didn't cost very much. It was, you know, maybe $5, $3, something like
And then, of
that.
course, you've got one of these, right?
No,
That one's, those are
Sorry,
great.
I'm adding stuff to my wish list.
That one I 3D printed.
Let me see.
what is it?
Oh my gosh.
It's a lead bender.
Yeah.
So they're all the standard widths of the holes on people use, like, you know, I don't know what they are, but yeah, the standard widths people use for the holes for through-hole components.
So you
I
lay your
like that.
resistor in there and fold
I like
it
that
down.
one better. It's deeper.
Yeah, this one I bought one.
Yeah, I have one like that.
Right, but it's got for very small components. It uses those really small resistors, the ones that are really tiny.
Yeah.
The quarter watt resistors, it works great on those. This, I found this online and 3D printed it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So anytime it breaks, which it will since it's 3D printed, I'll just print another one.
Maybe I should put a 3D printer on my wish list.
Yeah, you probably should. It's, you know, it's funny. Once you've got one, you're constantly finding ways to, oh, that would be cool. And you sit there in like Onshape or whatever your CAD of choice is, and you design it up and you just send it right over to the printer and doesn't work quite right, and you change it. You know, it's just like anything.
But it's nice, like, because you do S100 board, you got to send the Gerber to China.
Right.
Wait 2 weeks. Doesn't work.
Right.
Or usually a week after I send it, I'm looking at the schematics. Oh, that's not going to work.
Well, that's one of the things I hate is I don't think even in my lifetime they're really going to get a good 3D printer that can print a circuit board.
That would be cool.
Right. So, well, you can only do 2-layer. You could only do 2-layer. Through holes might be a problem.
Well, a good, that's why I say is a good one that can do the gold fingers, the, you know, the tin traces, silk screen, everything.
Well, you could do it the way, what's his name? Usagi Electric does it. You've seen his boards, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so he uses a CNC milling machine.
Well, yeah, you can mill stuff, but you don't get a silk screen and you get all the other stuff.
So he gets sheets with basically their fiberglass sheets with copper on the top and then mills away all the bit he doesn't want.
Yeah, but you know what? A two-sided copper-clad board costs more than a prefab board at JLC PCB.
Right, but a two-side copper-clad board on the CNC machine in your shed gets you a board in a couple of hours.
Yeah, well, yeah, but those copper-clad boards, you know, it's like $50 a square inch or something. I mean, they're not cheap.
So people used to do this at home. They used to make their own boards at home, and they would photo etch them. So it's a chemical process. So what you would do is you would make a template and lay it down on a board and then expose it to like UV light or whatever. And then you'd run it through just like making a black and white photograph. You run it through,
Interface or one of the other magazines used to give you templates so you could make your own boards. And then you have that ferro acid.
Right. It's not for the weak of heart. You are dealing with some pretty scary chemicals, but that was the way that it was done at home. But an actual 3D printer for boards, you couldn't do real fine traces because you'd be depositing material.
Yeah, the ferric acid doesn't do a good job.
If you 3D printed it, the through hole stuff would be the hardest.
I have a couple of those masks.
Yeah.
I think it was Interface magazine that they had the floppy ROMs, they called them, and it was just a record. And then they would put out the masks for some boards, hobby boards. And then I got some masks from one of the guys in a computer club, gave me a mask for, I think it was a music board for the S100 computer. And I still have some of those masks and the floppy ROMs.
Yeah.
I've been trying to sell those things, but
yeah, nobody in their right mind is making circuit boards with acid at home anymore.
well, I think there still are people doing it. But you know, like you said, in their right mind.
Yeah, that's just a little sketchy. That's yeah, I mean, I have friends who do black and white photography at home still, and even those chemicals are scary enough.
Well, black and white and color photography, the only scary chemical is the oh geez, now I can't remember. It's the fixer. You got the developer, then you put it in formaldehyde.
Yeah, that's right.
Formaldehyde bath, and then you put it in vinegar to finish it, to stabilize everything.
Yeah, just the thing you can do these days, have an open formaldehyde bath in your lab.
Yeah, I used to have a little photo lab when I was in college, and in my bathroom, I had a big bathroom, so I had that all set up, and I was mostly doing color infrared photography.
It's funny how things have changed. I remember when I was first working back in the early 70s, company I worked for, we had a cleaning tank. And in that cleaning tank, they had trichloroethylene, right? Which is not even, you can't even use it anymore. But not only was it a big old tank with trichloroethylene in it, it had gas burners underneath so that you could boil it. And then a vent hood over the top. And nobody wore masks when they were working with it. You'd have a little crane and you'd lower your parts in the little wire baskets in the thing and boil them in solvent. And it was brilliant cleaning, but it was just sitting in the assembly department with a vent hood about 3 feet above it, taking some of the fumes out. Yeah. It's funny
probably got about 50% of the fumes.
Yeah. It's funny how times change. And that was considered perfectly normal in the 70s. Yeah. And you didn't even wear masks when you worked on it. Nobody had, any kind of mask or anything. You just, went out and did your cleaning. And then, hands in it, no oil in your skin.
and then when they got into their 50s and 60s, they were dying of cancer and emphysema and all the other problems.
Yeah, I try not to think of some of the chemicals I was exposed to in my earlier years. Yeah. Good stuff. That and all sorts of solvents, hydraulic fluids. You never wore gloves.
Well, good deal. I gotta hop off.
Okay.
All right.
Got a lot of good notes. Good meeting.
Awesome. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Now I gotta go cut this whole thing up, and the longer. See, it's hour and 48 minutes, and it's going to take another hour or two for it to render, and then it'll take me another 3 or 4 hours to chop out the junk and keep just the meat.
Hey, that's gems, not junk.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the junk. We don't want the gems online.
I know. Well, thank you very much for doing it, because
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Well, that's one of the luxuries of retirement. You need things to keep you busy.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
And my brain, it gets so twisted up working on the basic programs, and I have to stop and let it rest for a few hours, even a few days sometimes, before I can dive back in and finish projects.
Yeah, I got to do some bigger programming jobs again. I haven't done a large assembly language, especially. I love writing an assembly language.
Well, you go to the forum, look at that short list of some samples that I said we could use on the webpage.
Yeah. Well, somewhere kicking around here, I think I might have said this before, I have a printout, not a soft copy anymore, of a printout of a terminal program I wrote that did for the IBM PC in the early days, that did interrupt-driven I/O, X-modem file transfers, all in assembler. It's about 3,000 lines of assembler.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that took me about 6 months to write that thing, but it was amazing because in PC-DOS 1.0, the terminal program was written in BASIC, and it was
that must have been awful.
It was awful. So that was I need to learn 8086 assembler. I've already done 8080. I need to learn 8086 assembler, which is its own world.
It is.
And yeah, so I have a hard copy of it, a printed copy, and it's kind of faded. That's another one that should already go through the scanner because over the years lost the original.
Yeah, I got a basic MBASIC dumb terminal program I wrote, and it works great. You put in your, it's designed around, again, the R1 serial.
Right.
So all you have to do is just give it the control port, the serial port, and if you want feed, loop back or not, and then start typing, and you got a terminal.
I went way overboard on this because not only was the terminal program written in BASIC, the serial drivers in the BIO were polled, not interrupt driven. So I had to write interrupt driven drivers and then learn how you replace programmatically the BIOS drivers with your own through going and modifying the jump table.
Right.
And remembering it so that you could put it back afterwards when your program finished. And then I built these things. I had ring buffers on the input and output so you could overdrive it. And then I used the built-in VT100 emulation, which it had, which was nice. I didn't have to do that from scratch. But I did the X modem with CRC checking in assembly. CRC checking in assembly language. That's fun.
No, thanks.
No internet, remember? No internet. I'm learning this stuff from books and articles.
You didn't just ask ChatGPT to write it for you?
Well, I would have, but it's a little a few generations before ChatGPT.
Yeah, no, I'll stick with X modem check.